It's all connected because Flint has the land bank too. So that's why I call it the controlled demolition of the middle class. Forget the middle class, just the controlled demolition of living, breathing, working people. Because in Flint, the land bank, who, by the way, you know who created the land bank? Congressman Dan Kildee, who represents Flint, and frankly, keeping it real, been frankly a little chicken shit when it comes to GM, but also the Flint water crisis. But that's a story for another day. So, land bank is basically, in my view, and residents I've spoken with, basically trying to buy up as much property in the neighborhoods that they want to bulldoze. In the neighborhoods they want to bulldoze, so that they could put in a new farmers market. So they could put.
They got basically eminent domain over all this land. These are properties that have been distressed, that have been abandoned. They were almost on a demolition list. They're given an inspection. Are they savable? Are they rehabable? They're also put into a database. And with the land bank, you barely have any right of home ownership. This is not home ownership. This is control. I know an activist that has been forthright in busting the land bank every chance she get. Now, she's ran off as seen as, maybe a crazy as such. But when you hear her and you give her an opportunity to run down the information, you'll be like, oh, my God, these people are literally cheating. This is monopoly, but a corrupt version of monopoly at hand. The water ties into that as well, because like Joanna said, you lose your home from a lien. You could also lose your home from not being able to pay the water bill at all, because you have to move out. Because if you're renting and your name is on a water bill that you're renting from a landlord or a scumlord, by that, you're responsible for those charges, and then that water bill follows you. So that makes it hard for you to get in your new place or to move into a brand new dwelling, because the water bill that you were supposed to turn on in the new dwelling, now you have to pay that old bill off in order to turn it back on. So it ties into a lot. If it's not foreclosures, water, schools, or however, we basically have, and to the citizens that have elected, we don't have a turnout. We don't have a high voter turnout. This last election was a turnout that was like 20%, but had it would have been a presidential election, had it would have been like where you pick your president, your Congress people, your state legislator, your city council men's, and all these other municipalities positions, there was no clean sweep. And barely the elected officials that were speaking, they haven't even spoke to water shutoffs, to housing foreclosures and such. And they got back in there by certain parts of the establishment, the churches, the business community, those who feel that, we're all probably wrong and we shouldn't be here. They're voted by those people, and folks that'll be fooled by chicken dinners and licking the boots of those that were paid to say, oh, well, they did a good job on my house. Oh, they took care of my water bill, and I don't have no property taxes. So what are you talking about, Miko? I mean, I'm not struggling like other people are. I think other people should do their fair share. And yet we don't have no jobs, no opportunities, or anything to show for it. But you drive around downtown Detroit and Midtown, and you think Detroit has just struck up a gold mine here.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
To touch further on, we do have a resolution to deal with what's going on. It's not no great big conspiracy that's going on here. Our elected officials currently right now are voted in by the people by either us voting in or us not voting. It's no municipality that you would go to in this country that you will have a mayor that has been under 4 federal investigations. You will have a city council member that's currently sitting on staff right now that's under a federal indictment and under 3 federal probes. So that lets you know that the people would not stand up, and that is the reason, because no people would allow those individuals to continue to be under federal investigations, federal probes from the same thing going on years. Cronyism, bid rigging, and bribery. The same thing for years. and no people would stand up against them. So that's the problem right there. Again, back to it. If the people come out and vote, 2017, 250,000 people voted for Hillary Rodham Clinton. In 2016. 2017, the very next year in Detroit, only 60,000 people went out and voted for the mayor. In some districts, 7,000 people, they went in with 7,000 people when it's 107,000 people. So that's how many people that's not involved. And that is the problem right there. They don't even understand. They'll complain about the police, but they don't know that the police is controlled by the mayor. They'll complain about waste. They don't know that the mayor controls the waste. They don't know these things. They don't know that when they complain about the water, the mayor appoints Gary Brown. He appoints the water department. The DDA, the Detroit Land Bank, is all appointed by the mayor and the city council. So if you got a problem with them, you got a problem with your mayor, because the appointee is not going to act on behalf of himself. He's going to act on behalf of the person who appointed him. That's our problem in Detroit, and it's a resolution. 77% of the people that's not involved have to understand why it's important that they get involved in local voting.
I just want to say a disclaimer, and I just want to throw it out there as a lifelong resident of the city of Detroit. You know, when we talk about race and we talk about issues of this nature, we're not being in a way, we're calling it how it is. This town, this whole state is a racially segregated state. We worse than Virginia, okay? We ain't got nothing to compare to Virginia is nothing to what compared to us. I mean, we are a 80% majority black city. The suburbs and the outlining area, that 1 million people we spoke about earlier, those are the ones that are living in the suburbs of Oakland County, Macomb County, and other areas surrounding that. Detroit residents are we're just down to earth people. You know, we want a quality of life. We want good schools. We want better services. We deserve that. We're taxpayers, and we're being treated like second-class citizens here. And then when we speak about issues of race, people get mad and say, oh, well, why are you saying white and black? And so, because it is what it is. You have a group of people that don't look like us, that are making decisions and are not including the very same people that it is affecting. They can go home at night in Farmington, Bloomfield Hills, any suburban area, but we have to deal with the after effects. Policy drives the conditions of what we're dealing with right now. And for those people that say we shouldn't mention race, we should, we're being racist and all. No, this is a reality. This is a true fact of life. And until you understand, because like Jordan said, this would never happen in any other affluent community. Flint would have not happened in any affluent white suburban community. It would be holy hell to pay. Why is it acceptable for black people? Why is it acceptable for poor people, for a class of people to accept being denied basic human rights? We don't have a right to education. We don't have a right to water. We don't have a right to housing. We don't have a right to anything here. And then when we're protesting, we're marching, we're rallying, we're at the table, we're developing solutions. All three of us have came to each one of those elected officials, including the mayor, with a solution, and they would not listen. They don't recognize us. I guess we have to wave some money around here for the people for us to, even then it would be a problem, because we want a fair advantage, and the fair advantage is better schools, better clean water at a price we all can pay. We share this resource, quality schools that our children can become stars and champions. We believe in education here in the city of Detroit, and we have produced stars and champions and underdogs who have competed among the world. We put, like I said again, when we talk about race, we're talking about structural racism, established racism that is already ingrained from a thought of I'm superior. I'm better than you. You don't deserve it, but I do. And then we come to find out it's the friends and family plan. They put you up here as a puppet to push this agenda, and you only got paid a certain measly thousands of dollars. And you didn't care about the residents of the community in the first place. When you look at the Educational Achievement Authority and all these other entities, they are not subjectable to citizen to the citizens. So yes, when we do go downtown, the people get stuck. Well, yes, we do go downtown and we complain, and we have nobody to talk to because the people that we did try to talk to have brushed us off. There is no ombudsman that we can go to him, and even then we have nobody that we. So either it be the state, the UN, the World Council in Geneva. I don't know where will we have to go, but we're gonna have.